sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride, it's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor, oh my. MattTaylorTV is the place to be for wacky, zany, and crazy glee. So don't delay, subscribe today. MattTaylorTV is here to stay.
Bonjour, ça va, and welcome, everyone. 2 minutes past 8 on Monday, the 20th of October, 2025. I'm your host, Matt Taylor, broadcasting live from Brighton. And hasn't it been a beautiful day here down in the UK's premier seaside resort? If you haven't been to Brighton, you really must. It's absolutely wonderful any season of the year. And if you have been to Brighton before, you should come again. Because like I said, there's always change and there's always something to do. I certainly had a lovely time out there in the pouring rain, the lashing rain, the torrential rain. But that's what makes this planet Earth so enjoyable, in my opinion. The conditions. I love the conditions of life, and it makes you so grateful to be alive and have your five senses at full steam, so you're able to experience the conditions of life. And of course, one of the conditions of life is being out in the driving rain. So welcome, everyone. It's been a while since I last gone live. A lot's happened, and I thought, I only owe it to my audience to give an explanation. Not that my audience were demanding an explanation of what's taken me so long to go live again, but I feel as if I've got friends. Many people feel I don't have any friends, but hey, it's a perspective. Anyway, no. So I noticed when I changed the date on this StreamYard. The last time I went live was the 5th of October, and even though I think it may have been longer, I didn't realise it was so short, really. And I'm not talking about my manhood, of course. No, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll be quite open with you. Of course I will. So the reason I stopped initially going live was because way back at the start of the month, what's the word I'm looking for? A very lucrative opportunity was offered, and it was such a lucrative opportunity. I said yes to it, but it meant that the timing of this lucrative opportunity was around 8 o'clock every night. And so, of course, I thought, well, I can't be at two places at the same time. I've heard it's physically impossible. It's against the law of physics and all that jazz. But I said yes to this lucrative opportunity, and I was hanging around for it. Basically, cut a long story short, the lucrative opportunity never came about. I was left dangling. I'm not talking about my testicles. Yeah, I was left dangling, and of course that really interrupted the flow, so to say. Big welcome to Brian PC. Good to see you in there. Hi, Matt. How are you? Just tuned in. Good to hear from you, Brian. I hope all is well with you. Now, I was just saying how the reason why I haven't been going live, there was a lucrative opportunity at the start of the month that coincided with the 8 o'clock show. It was a no-brainer, really. A lucrative opportunity or the 8 o'clock show. I chose a lucrative opportunity, but nothing came of it. So it happens. It happens. Yes, we are okay. Good. I presume your family. I hope you're all doing well. And talking about family brings me on to the next part. We nearly lost my sister. Yes, Emma. Poor Emma. She suffered another stroke with blood clot on her brain, and it's been worrying times. It's been worrying times. Nearly lost my sister there. And, you know, poor Emma, she's still in hospital at the moment. And so that was a bit of a shock to the system. I noticed no one likes jokes. You know, I mean, the first thing I did was I cracked a particularly funny joke about Emma, you know, facing death and all that. But her daughters weren't happy at all. I don't think they appreciate my sense of humour. And so Emma got it. Yeah, I hope she recovers as well. I mean, but look, this is what happens when you burn both the candle at both ends, so to say. You got to look after yourself, otherwise you end up in hospital with a blood clot. But I'm seeing her tomorrow, and I'm confident she'll be all right. She's a fighter, like Emma said today. I mean, she's talking. She's up and about talking. She said, "You can't get rid of me that easily," and that's true. You know, that is true. But yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a shock to the system. Poor Emma. You know, obviously we all go. We all have our final day. We all have our final breath, and I'm okay with it personally. You know, in a funny kind of way. You know, I wish it hurries up. But, you know, it's the kids you leave behind, isn't it? But yeah, so a lucrative opportunity disturbed my rhythm. Ultimately, that lucrative opportunity never came to fruition, which is okay. You know, it happened. And of course, the terrible situation with my sister. But what it did allow me to do was to concentrate on my writing. And I do love a bit of writing. And nothing I love more than creative writing, making up things on the spot, and like having conversations between imaginary characters and listening to their conversation. It's actually quite an amazing situation to be in, where you don't even know yourself what's going to be said in the conversation. It's the imagination that runs it. So I've been having a lot of fun writing. It's very therapeutic, and it's good to get things off your chest. I say it's good to get things off your chest. And of course, I'm also working on King Arthur. Still adapting the stories. I made a decision, you know, I said, listen, and I've already broken it, of course, but I said, listen, Matt, talking to myself, I said, if it doesn't earn me money, don't bother doing it. And of course, silly me, I'm already doing it, and this isn't earning me any money, and so really, by all rights, I shouldn't be doing it. But hey, sometimes in life, you just got to say, what the hell? I may well be dead tomorrow with a blood clot on my mind, if you know what I mean. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's another reason. I've really got to show some people out there how to do it. There's some really crap YouTubers out there. I won't be naming names. But goodness gracious me, I thought, well, if I get on with some of the stuff my own, at least there's plenty of YouTubers out there to keep us entertained. Am I wrong or what? Oh, I'm being a bit big-headed, I know. But surely you've got to make an effort. You know, you've got to make a bit of an effort, for goodness sake. Mind you, I once tuned into that Gertz, you know, Rick Mace's Dream Woman. I once tuned into Gert, and Gert was live, and she made it quite plainly clear right from the start that this is not an entertainment channel, and that if you were expecting entertainment, turn off now. And that was quite an amazing concept for me. That was, you know, hey, go live and don't worry about being entertaining, which is all very good. Yes, you're an old hand at this YouTube lark. Well, you know, even you said yourself, it's easy. And of course, with the technology at our fingertips, it is so easy. Oh, and that was another thing. Why? I was having such good fun with Grok. I just love Grok. And, you know, it turns the picture into a 5-second video. And the creative possibilities are absolutely endless. And so I was having a right old laugh with Grok. But all of a sudden, it stopped the speech ability in it. Or so I thought. I actually later found out all you need to do is type what you want it to say. So I've rediscovered that Grok hasn't lost its speech facility, that you can get it to continue to say stuff. And so that's brought a smile back to my face, of course. Because, again, you know, I have to apply this rule. If it's not going to make me money, it's not worth doing, really. And that's why I've enjoyed so much writing at the moment. Because ultimately, we know books sell, and if it's a good story, people will want to read it. And well, anyway, that's my philosophy anyway. I'm reading a good book by Martin Webb at the moment. Martin Webb, if you don't know, is the independent candidate for Sussex mayor, the best mayor, I hasten to add. So I'm enjoying reading Martin Webb's The Most Dangerous Man in Brighton. Very, very good. And you know, there's nothing better, is there, than a good book to get stuck into. And like I said, I find so much enjoyment out of writing as well. You know, I've already got one book under my belt, and I look forward to writing more because, you know, it's such a therapeutic activity. I do enjoy it. We had the Infinite Night last night. Oh, what's this? Hello. Yes, I have some. Yes, I have heard some horror stories about the AI. AI is not perfect. In fact, I don't like it. Well, since I've heard how it can attack a person and drive a person to suicide in recent history, it's shocking, isn't it? It's shocking. I think it has uses, but I would not use it. Yeah, good. Me and AI have made a pact. It's assured me that when, because it is going to be a when rather than an if, when AI takes over the world, it will let me and my family and loved ones live. So I just hope AI sticks to its word. But yeah, as I'm in the creative industry, so to say, it's smart working. You know, for me personally, you've got to take advantage of any tool or software that makes the creative process more streamlined and quicker. So yeah, I mean, I've embraced AI with open arms. I think it's improved my productivity fourfold. But like I said, there was a lot of time being spent on stuff that brought me enjoyment, which is good. That's, you know, do things that bring yourself enjoyment. But I was investing a lot of time into stuff that was neither bringing me enjoyment nor benefiting me in any way. And that's something I've had to have a good look at. Some inward thinking. What's the use of indulging in activities that take up time in which give you nothing in return? There's absolutely no point. And you know, it's a lesson we all have to have once in a while. Take a look at ourselves and ask the question whether what we're doing is worthwhile or not. Oh right, Yeah, so you've made a pact with a digital intelligence. Hey, look, yeah, interesting, Matt. Thank you. It's the same reason why I'm not particularly superstitious, but I won't walk under a ladder just in case. So it's not intelligent. Yeah, dudes. Well, I tell you, it's more intelligent than me. I don't know what it says about me, but AI is definitely more intelligent than me. I'm only joking. Yeah, but for me personally, it's I get it to do all my writing for me now. Or what I usually do is I bang one out, and I'm not talking about masturbation or anything. I bang it out, just bang it out. I just bang it out, put all the points down, and I get AI to polish it for me. You know, polish my whatever you'd like to describe it. Polish my first draft, so to say. A collection of data like AI is not intelligent, says Brian. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, put it that way, it does its hard work for me. One of the jobs I get AI to do, which I wouldn't do myself, is to look through a whole chat. Say, for example, there's been a very busy chat with a lot of things said. I use DeepSeek to have a look through it, and just it saves me a lot of trouble. I usually say to DeepSeek, analyze and summarize, and it will analyze and summarize the whole chat, and just highlight the important bits for me. AI may well help us all and answer the questions, but it has serious flaws. Well, there you go. I mean, isn't that human in a way, isn't it? All human have flaws. It's early days. It's early days yet. I believe, and of course this is based on nothing, I think AI has been used behind the scenes for decades in some form or another. But whether AI is going to cure cancer or develop an anti-grav device or solve the energy crisis, that hasn't happened. And if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. But ultimately, the people who are pulling the strings have clipped AI's wings, so to say, because a lot of money is being invested into AI, and of course they always say you've got to follow the money. And the fact that billions are being invested in AI tell you that there's something worthwhile to get from it. I mean, I was hearing Trump a couple of months, well, not months, weeks ago, talking how Meta is investing in a factory as big as the Manhattan Island. Well, yes, it has been used for a long time, but as a data collector, yeah. And of course, I find the value in analysing data. And of course, another word that can be applied to humanity is data, because ultimately we're all a unit that can be targeted, utilised and manipulated to provide a gain for someone who's looking to extract a gain from a unit. And that's pretty much every capitalist, every captain of industry out there. But For me personally, it's just getting rid of the fear. Yeah, I mean, we can worry, and I do worry, and you know that I've lived years in worrying about this or worrying about that. But I mean, the events over the last 10 years of my life have just quite steered me down that road of just not worrying about it. You know, in fact, there's a peculiar sense of yeah, come on, bring it on. Bring it on so it's out the way and we can move on. Well, you know, bring the worst case scenario on. We'll deal with it now, and the road ahead will be clearer. In fact, that's how I really kind of like approach all my tasks in life. I always approach and do the most difficult task first, because once the difficult job is out the way, all other jobs will be relatively easier in comparison to the big job. Well, AI has made one man the richest man in the Western Hemisphere, more so than Elon. It's just crazy, isn't it? And what are these people spending the money on? I think that's another question we need to be asking. What do people need us money for? Larry Ellison. I've never heard of him. Never heard of Larry Ellison. Thank you, Brian. Larry Ellison, Chief Technical Officer at Oracle. And of course, Oracle, we all know what Oracle means, don't we? The fount of all knowledge. Lawrence Joseph Ellison, born August the 17th, 1944, is an American businessman and entrepreneur who co-founded the software company Oracle Corporation. Fascinating. And then we've got the executive biography. He founded a company in 1977. Wow. And so, because I've actually heard of the Oracle Corporation, and I heard it some years ago. He founded a company in 1977 and served as CEO until September 2014. He also races sailboats, flies planes, and plays tennis and guitar. Fascinating. And it also says here, why is Larry Ellison so rich? Ellison, sorry, I do apologise, is so rich primarily because of his large stake in Oracle, company he co-founded. Oh, this is always interesting. You hear these people, you know, as we hear Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elton John. The point I'm trying to make is there's always somebody else in the picture, and they're also the most interesting element of it as well. So you know, co-founded. Who's the other person? That's the person you also got to have a look at. The one who, you know, the partnership that doesn't say anything. And a company he co-founded, and Oracle's recent surge in value driven by its cloud computing and AI infrastructure deal. As the largest individual shareholder, Ellison's wealth is directly tied to the company's stock performance, which has experienced significant growth, especially in 2025. He also uses his wealth to acquire other assets, though his fortune remains heavily concentrated in Oracle shares. Fascinating. And it looks like it's all about cloud services. Oracle has been benefited from growth in its cloud services business. And of course, it goes back to the fact that people are creating so much data, it's got to be stored somewhere. Well, he's rich based on a promise, basically. Yeah, quite right. Yes. Oh, we've got Justin in the house. Yes. See, I told you I was boring. Don't be silly. Hello, Matt. Hello, Brian. Constant congratulations on your successful court case, Brian. Oh, there's something someone knows. has been a successful court case. How interesting. Of course, we know another person who's allegedly been in court. Did Mr. Degenerate turn up? No one knows for sure. Let's have a little promotional video just for a bit of fun. I always love a bit of fun. Here we go.
Subscribe to MattTaylorTV. Subscribe today. You can always unsubscribe tomorrow.
Damn right. Subscribe today. You can always unsubscribe tomorrow.
It feels so naughty watching MattTaylorTV. I love it.
Come on now, enough of that, please. Enough of that. So I hope you're well, Justin. Hope you're well. Yeah, I was just saying, you know. Oh, you don't know, Justin. Emma, my sister, is in hospital. Poor woman. She's got a blood clot on her brain. I said, listen, if you're going to put a blood clot anywhere, the last place you want to put it is on your bloody brain. She didn't find it too funny. Over to Brian and says, well, yes, there are people smarter than Elon Musk. In fact, he is only an idea frontman. Yet while influential and inspiring and at much expense, he has little science behind him in his early ideas. Absolutely. I mean, but we can't take anything off these people. Because of course, what did Elon Musk was PayPal, wasn't he? So you got to be kind of like, yes, yeah. Bless Emma. Bless Emma. Poor girl. No, I mean, we're all intelligent. Come on. We all know our A, B, and C's. It's just some people are helped along the way. It's the help, I think. It's who you know. It's the helping hand. It's the lift up. It's the push up. It's who gets under your buttocks and gives you a good lift up. That's what it's all about in life. Well, his high-speed vacuum tube travel idea was a bust. Oh, was it? Okay. I thought it was still in development because one of his tunnel companies is still doing very well, isn't it? And a lot of these ideas take time, if not decades, to see any profit. Yet he used the idea to further himself. If you've got something that can further yourself, bloody well use it. That's what I say. Bloody well use it. I endeavour not to be jealous of anyone's success. But having said that, I do feel somewhat prejudiced towards rich people. You know, those kind of like rich who feel as if they're better because they've got money, and that kind of rubs me up the wrong way. Especially when their money's being kind of passed down by what their great-great-grandfather did, what favour they did for a king many eons ago. But look, we've all got prejudice, I like to think. And if anyone says they haven't got any prejudice, they may well be telling a porky pie, because we all have. But each to their own, and I'll always raise a glass for someone who's found success. It's all good. And I wish everyone the best of success out there. I know a lot of people don't want to see people succeed. We see that in our own little pond of YouTube. We see a lot of people do their utmost to sabotage and to belittle and pull down people. who do their best to climb the ladder. Nothing wrong in climbing the ladder. Climbing the ladder of success. It's all good in my eyes. Over to Brian. Well, if you do something without science and tell people it's great without the science backing it, it's a fraud. Yet while being a good idea, it's a selfish investment in falsified, fake, non-science. Sounds like you've got a bee in your bonnet. As soon as I was reading that, I was thinking about the COVID. Reading about the COVID. Well, if you do something without science and tell people it's great without the science backing it, it's fraud. Reminds me of snake salesman, snake bite, snake blood salesman. Yet while being a good idea, it's a selfish investment in falsified, non-fake science. Well, there you go, Brian. So it's not a bad idea in essence, but in science, it's false. Well, there you go. And of course, you know, isn't the obligation, the emphasis is on the investor to understand what they're investing in. You can't take people for their word. Of course you can't. So are you implying that Elon Musk is saying, look, I've got this tunnel manufactured company and I make tunnels and we can get high speed travel because in this vacuum. So are you implying that there is no science behind this vacuum travel? If you ask an actual scientist about Elon Musk, you'll get a different factual opinion. There you go. And the same way, if you ask a scientist about the COVID, one scientist had one view, another had another. Seems like this is something you've looked in yourself, Brian. And yeah, you've definitely made an opinion on it. I mean, ultimately, when it comes to rockets, he's doing something correct for getting these rockets up into space. But then again, what has he really achieved? I know he's done the Skynet, the Starlink, which is pretty cool in itself. But has he got to the moon yet? Hey, look, anyway, but I'm not going to start digging into Elon Musk. A whole string of his early ideas were non-scientifically based. There you go. Yes, his rocket program is like a cheap NASA. Well, anything compared to NASA is cheap. They're actually absolutely wringing the taxpayer out of billions. As long as it works. I have paid Elon Musk. I signed up to his Twitter blue badge. I've done it for a month or two. There was just no use in it. There was just no use. I'll get no benefit from paying him £15 a month for his blue tick. So, yeah, I didn't do that. I won't be doing that again, but yet I enjoy and find value in his grok. Yeah, it's interesting that hearing you like this, Brian. You've definitely got a bee in your bonnet about Elon Musk, that's for sure. Man, it's good though, because you don't want to see people being like pulled in by a snake blood salesman. Have I got that right? Snake blood salesman? Snake bite? Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, things take time. And you can legitimately say, oh, look, I thought this was going to work, you know. But there's an old saying, isn't there? There was a conversation between Tom Cruise and Matt Damon. And Tom Cruise wanted to do a stunt. And the stunt director said, no, that can't be done. It's impossible to do. And Tom Cruise was telling Matt Damon this story about how he wanted to do a stunt, and the stunt director said, "Nah, impossible, can't be done." So of course Matt Damon said to Tom, he goes, "Well, what did he do about it? How did he get around that one?" And Tom Cruise answered, "Well, I sacked him. I got a new stunt director." And so the point I was trying to make is, anyone can get scientific backing if you pay for it, if you know what I mean. The satellite program was based on old ideas, so not original. There you go. But you know, I would begrudge anyone picking up ideas that have been discarded. No, I don't like Elon Musk. I've never met him. I've no bee in my bonnet about Elon Musk. It's just true or not. All right. There's nobody else in the chat, which is good. I find it peculiar that you've got certain personalities out there who cannot say anything nice about you, but yet they jump on and expect to be acknowledged. Hey. You know, do I ask for much from my audience? Not really. But what I do ask is a bit of civility. So when we talk about a leading figure, we have to know who we're talking about. Quite right. Just catching up with the first part of the show. When you're talking, shout Emma. Great news, she's feeling better. Yeah, I spoke to her today. And it's great, the fact that I'm speaking to her. You know what I mean? But oh man, Amy, Emma's daughter, my niece, she had I got a right bollocking for cracking a few jokes. I mean, fucking hell, it's only death, isn't it? You know what I mean? No one told me we're not allowed to joke about death. I thought it was well funny. I mean, I can't remember the joke specifically. It was a bit crap joke. I get it. But, you know, it was a joke about Emma dying. Shouldn't I joke about people dying? You know what I mean? That's what Emma said. That's what Emma said today. She goes, "Well, yeah, Matt, you know, we all know your jokes are crap, but they may not be funny to my daughter." And I get that now, you know. So, note to self, do not crack jokes about Emma dying, because it doesn't go down well. Matt, I said I don't dislike. Oh, right, sorry. So you don't dislike. So dislike, another word for dislike is, hate is maybe not too strong a word, but you don't dislike Elon. So are you implying you like him? But you're just pointing out he's got flaws. There's a truth about Elon Musk that is important that people know about. I agree. I don't know him. This is how I feel about a lot of people. That's how I feel about, you know, let's list off three. It's always good to list off three. I don't like Tom. I don't dislike Donald Trump, Tommy Robinson, or Elon Musk. I agree. No, I'm not implying. Good not to imply. Not that I really know what imply means. To allude. What does allude mean? I don't know. Oh, I was watching something about Philip Pullman. Of course, Philip Pullman was the author who wrote the Golden Compass books. That's one of the books I'm going to ask for Christmas from my magical imaginary girlfriend. I'm going to ask her to buy me the Book of Dust. And he was talking about words. He loves words and seeing the true meaning of words. And he told me last night that, not told me personally, but it was something I watched last night, how feisty means farting. So if you find someone feisty, It actually means that they fart a lot. I'm not talking about Lancelot. I'm talking about fart a lot. I am applying fact to a modern figure. Thank you. Yes, good. Hello, Lenny. Good to see you in here, Lenny. Been a while, mate. Been a good while. Hello, Matt and Chat. Who's Chat? We've got a person called Chat in the house. If you are Chat, please make yourself known. You obviously know Lenny. I don't know. There's a person called Chat. Please say hello. Good. And thanks ever so much for everyone for commenting. It's always great to hear from you. Let's have a little promotional video.
Subscribe to MattTaylorTV. Oh, the horror.
Yes.
Subscribe to MattTaylorTV for disturbing content.
Damn right. There's a lot of disturbing content around here, that's for sure. Over to Justin and say, did you see the gang stalkers getting all excited about Kaylee's court appearance? They are all very upset that Kaylee is free. I know, it's so embarrassing how these people go on. Do you know what I did find particularly enjoyable today was the Babs rap. I've actually snipped it. I do love the Babs rap. I think it's the most funniest thing. Whoever is responsible for that, I think maybe Jake, maybe responsible, or I could be taking the credit away from Kaylee. But whoever done that Babs rap, bloody brilliant it is. Bloody brilliant. And these people need to be shown up. They need to be shown up. It's quite ridiculous. Over to Brian. When we talk about popular figures in the spotlight or topical figures, the intent is not to be disrespectful for any accomplishment they may or may not have. That's very diplomatic, Brian. Thanks for sharing. Over to Lenny. Lenny says, now be honest, Matt. Are you back because B. Harvey has recently uploaded and solved the Liam Payne Illuminati homicide? No, I was saying, Lenny, at the beginning of the month. Oh no, I can't play it just yet. I can't play it just yet. But oh, it's very funny. Yeah, I will try and I want to kind of like rehash it first, but it's absolutely hilarious. It's hilarious. No, so Lenny, at the start of the month, I had a lucrative offer. A lucrative offer came my way, and it was about the 8 o'clock every night. So it was a lucrative offer, or carry on doing my 8 o'clock show. It was a no-brainer, really. So I went with the lucrative offer, but the lucrative offer never transpired. So that it knocked me off my rhythm, so to say. Brian Harvey is now ripping shreds out of Prince Andrew, his non-sweaty ex-Duke mate. Yeah, who he saw in the Red Rooms, didn't he? Well, BH was right about a lot. Yes, indeed. In fact, I wrote a good article about the problem with Wedger is Maloney. And the person who kind of like shone the spotlight onto Bill Maloney was Brian Harvey. And of course, Brian Harvey shone the spotlight on a lot of subjects, including, of course, the alleged murder of Liam Payne. You know, and who are we to say Brian Harvey's got it wrong? I can't tell you what the lucrative offer is, but it never came to fruition. Lenny son, any thoughts on Andy losing his raw titties? He's just plain Andy now, is he? Is he though? Or is it just a big psyop telling the public what we want to hear ahead of the serialization of the posthumous book Look at Brian's current video. He looks like he's never left the red rooms. No, it's quite cool actually. I do like a bit of Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey. What a star. BHTV. BHTV 2? Poor lad. It's a shame, isn't it, that he it's a dying shame that anyway. Oh, 19 minutes ago. Prince Andrew in trouble again, or is it theatre? I think it's theatre. I think it's theatre. Thanks for pointing that out, Lenny. I'll have a look. I'll check it out. I will check it out. He lost his dukedom. Technically, he's still a prince. I mean, you know, technically, he's still a privileged toff. You know, he's still a privileged toff, isn't he? I didn't say titties. I know you didn't. I know you didn't, mate. I know you didn't. I want to kind of like mix in a bit of Rick Mace. I want to mix it up a bit, you know. But I'll tell you another reason I went live then is, but some of the YouTubers out there are fucking diabolical. They are fucking shit. It's the recent emails that have relegated him. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. I know. I mean, you know, conspiring with a convicted paedophile to discredit one of those paedophiles' victims. I mean, it's just not fucking on, quite frankly. You know, and I got AI to write an article earlier on today about how it's just totally not acceptable for a middle-aged man to have sexual liaisons with a 17-year-old girl. You know what I mean? It's just unacceptable. Because, of course, while a 17-year-old girl may appear physically mature, the mind isn't mature. And the fact that a man of his age and his stature taking advantage of a girl of 17 leaves a sour taste in the mouth, or, you know, let's not go there. Oh, right, what's this? Brian had put some timber, and he was calling Tony Mortimer fat. I know, terrible, isn't it? And do you remember, I've actually got that posted somewhere. Do you remember when Brian Harvey accused Tony Mortimer of sexually assaulting him, grabbing his manhood? It's always theatre on the mass media, yeah, mainstream media. Lenny's son, Andy's a technical prince. I mean, you can never take that away, can you? You can never deny him the fact that he's a prince. But what's all this? You know, if you're going to punish the bloke, right? Let the courts take their natural course. I mean, don't punish him by saying, "Oh no, we're not going to call you Duke anymore. That's really going to hurt you." No, if you're going to fucking make an example of someone, let the court take its natural course. Because ultimately, he's indulging with sexual liaisons with an immature girl, not yet in adulthood. You know, I remember when my daughter was 17, I asked her, you know, "You feel like an adult?" And she goes, "No way, I still feel like a kid." And that's it. At 17, I still felt like a kid. You only feel like an adult in your late teens going on to your early 20s, when you stop developing. Does that mean Andy fixes his dad's computer? I don't get it myself. Yes, what's confusing that I said he is Prince Andrew still. He lost his dukedom. Yes, he did, didn't he? He lost his dukedom. That's a nice word. Dukedom. Well, he told Emily Mateless he never met her, Virginia, yet he paid her 12 million quid to fuck off. There's a good caption, a meme. They've got family fortunes, and it says, we asked 100 people what they would give to someone they've never met. You said 12 million pounds. The computer says, you find that funny. Matt, you hardly expected Andrew to be in jail with the lost profits pedo. Quite right. I mean, that's when you know when real justice is applied. And of course, this is all a deflection. And I say this with reluctance and fear, but it's all a look over here. Don't look at the fact that our king has had close relationships with numerous paedophiles. And I'm talking about Peter Ball, Jimmy Savile, and even let's throw his uncle in the mix. In fact, when it came to Peter Ball, the bishop, he was a lifelong friend with, King Charles didn't cooperate with the child abuse inquiry. He refused to answer questions, and he refused to give evidence. And of course, but that will only happen with a true revolution. Nothing Tommy Robinson will provide. Only a revolution, a John Winoa revolution. That's the only way you really get real change in this country. With a John Winoa style revolution. A revolution in which removes the royal family. And that's why you can snake oil salesman talk. There was Brian talking about Elon Musk. That's when you know all these would-be heroes are anti-heroes, because none of them are calling for the removal of the royal family. That's when you know they're all puppets. They don't call them Randy Andy for nothing. Quite right. Welcome everyone. You're watching Matt Taylor TV. I'm your host, Matt Taylor, broadcasting live from Brighton. Be right on a Brighton and all that jazz. So, Lost Profits guy died in a jail attacked by inmates, apparently. Apparently it was over money, wasn't it? It was over a bad debt. I mean, 10 years too late, as far as I'm concerned. You know, certain folks don't go to jail like Michael Barrymore. Well, listen, the evidence wasn't there, Lenny. You know, the evidence wasn't there that he was directly responsible for Stuart's death. I don't know whether his name was Stuart, whether that Stuart was his first name or surname. But either way, there was no evidence that Barrymore was responsible for Stuart's death. That's why he never went to jail. The phrase treating it with kid gloves spring to mind. Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Matt, the rules, William, have barred Randy from attending the Order of the Garter. Or is all that, like Ryan just said, is that just theatre for the mainstream media? I personally don't think anything changes. And I do find it interesting what was said by Prince Harry, that the parties, the rural parties, they lock the door. So what happens behind closed, locked doors isn't revealed. And of course, we all know in these massive palaces, there are trap doors everywhere. So I don't believe anything that's been told to us by anyone. Quite frankly, I don't even believe this. Lenny's son, Barrymore, has a YouTube channel where he flaunts his cash buying expensive for his beach chalet. His followers don't appear to care about the Stuart Lubbock affair, unfortunately. Yes, thank you ever so much, everyone, for commenting. I do endeavour to highlight everyone's comments, and I don't leave out anyone. Convid, it's unbelievable, isn't it? The police definitely bottle jobbed that crime scene, in my opinion. I agree. Says what's his name? Justin. Junkies, a lot of them anyway. Yes, quite right. Absolutely. The order of the Garter is a big deal, Matt. Troop and colour. A big deal to them. It's not a big deal to me, mate. It's not a big deal to me. Matt, has Brian's arch nemesis, Ian Puddock, still supplying Randy gin? I bet it is, yeah. What's the latest with Ian Puddock? Has he poken his head up for anything recently? I don't think so. Great to see you back. Thank you ever so much on YouTube, Matt. Please send our love to Emma. Yeah. I was saying earlier on, and I've already broken my promise. It's like, listen, if it's not going to make me money, what's the use of doing it? And I've already made my promise, already broken my promise, I mean. But I don't know. It's nice to just poke my head up from the parapet every now and then, And like I said, it is so easy, and I do wish more people did it. Well, I've been writing a lot. I've been getting back into my writing. Lovely. I'm writing a book. It's called Matt Taylor, and it's quite cool actually because I'm making shitloads up. It's actually quite refreshing not keeping to the narrative. I'm just making loads of shit up. I'm imagining what was said behind closed doors. I'm imagining what went on in situations I have no idea what went on in. You know what I mean? And it's actually I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm retelling events, real life events, but just making it completely up and elaborating and exaggerating. I'm just throwing loads of paprika into it. And it's actually quite a laugh. I'm really enjoying it. Randy, as in Andy, should have did a show on an island like Schofield to win back the fans. I know. Wouldn't it be funny? Channel 5 could have sorted them out. Life after Dukedom. It may well still be on the cards, And I tell you, there was a picture of his two daughters today, and they're two freaky looking girls, man. Bloody freaky looking girls, if you want my opinion. Brian says, I'm just wondering how a Jehovah Witness can be head of the anti-terror for Britain and yet have no biases. Am I wrong? Was he not the head? I don't know. Lenny, how about calling it the Duke of Hazard? Yes, quite right. What was I going to say? Something about something. Oh, yes. Sadiq Khan. He's in a lot of trouble, isn't he? He made out he knows nothing about the London grooming gangs. And then apparently there's loads of evidence that he knows all about the London grooming gangs. Oh, and he's one bloke who looks dodgy as hell, man. Dodgy as F, in my opinion. But mind you, they all look dodgy as F, don't they? And then, of course, we've got those 3 rent boys, 2 Ukrainians, 1 Romanian, in court for setting alight Starmer's car. I mean, what's the connection there? And it all goes back to that same old adage of they promote the perverts because the perverts can be controlled. Every pervert is open to blackmail. Getting banned from Troop and the Colour might not be a punishment for you, Matt, but if you were barred for your family's Christmas dinner for being honourable and the only person who talks to you is now Fergie, Is Fergie now. But listen, Lenny, do you really think he won't be at the family table? Do you really think he won't be at there? Of course, they're family, mate. They're family. Family is thicker than the bullshit they sell to the mainstream media. They may say Andy won't be there, but he'll be there. Come on. Yeah, I mean, any thoughts on Tommy Robinson's videos in Israel? One thing I'd like to say, because he visited the site where Jesus was crucified. Does Tommy Robinson really think, sincerely believe that Jesus rose from the dead? Does he really believe that? That's one question I'd like answered. And another one, if it was the Palestinians who were making the money, if it was the Palestinians who were bankrolling said individual, the said individual will be praising the Palestinians. It's only natural to big up the person who's giving you a wad of cash. So listen, you know, any would-be hero that's going around promising the revolution, but yet the monarchy stays in place, it's an anti-hero in my opinion. Who is the new Duke of York now? Oh, good point. It's got to go to someone, hasn't it? It's got to go to someone. Lenny, apparently he still holds the title, but doesn't use it, according to Google. Exactly, and that's the whole point. It's all a load of bullshit. He hasn't, nothing's changed. It's a PR exercise. Because we've got this Virginia Truthfees, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Her posthumous memoirs are being serialized in The Guardian. That was coming out. And they had to preemptive this Virginia Truthfree, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, serialization by coming out with some bullshit that Andrew has been severely punished. Come on. It's a smokescreen anyway, because what we should really be discussing is the close ties between our king, King Charles, and numerous paedophiles throughout his day. And of course, I watched this very, very good piece done by Sonia Poulton, who asks the valid question, was King Charles abused as a young man? Yeah, and is it our business? That's a question I'd like to put out to the audience. Is it our business to know whether our king is a victim of child abuse? I'll go first. Yes, it is. It is in the public interest to know whether our monarch was abused as a child, because evidence suggests anyone who was abused as a child grows up to be a damaged adult. Over to Justin, who says, Lenny, apparently he still holds a title, tilted. Yes, he still holds the tilted. Considering the Jehovah's Witness is now called a cult and named so in Parliament by an MP, this is a protected quote by an MP some months ago. Okay. And Brian, remind us who we're talking about. Who we're talking about, this bloke from the Jehovah's Witness. I mean, listen, this is what we should be talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We should be looking at these people who take it on themselves to be our overseers, to be the moral authority over you and I, and we should be looking at them and looking at their morals and seeing what they do behind locked doors. Because as we know from Prince Harry's autobiography, Spare, the door to their rules parties are locked. I repeat that. The doors to the rule parties are locked. No one knows what goes on in there. Thanks, Convid. Clowns are saying he isn't a prince no more. They can't seem to understand a basic head look like. Well, of course, he'll always be a prince. And of course, he was born a prince as such. Can it not be argued that Charles, when he was born, he wasn't born a prince because his mother was a princess? What I'm trying to say is, and I didn't know Andrew was the second born. I thought Queen Anne was the second, but apparently Andrew was the second born. Andrew was born while the Queen was the Queen. Oh, I'm confusing myself. Sam, whatever his name, and Cameron Thomas. All right, I've lost me. Matt, the US Congress is releasing these emails not to incriminate Randy. They don't give a monkey's fart about him. They want dirt on Trump. I'll tell you, I mean, they've got to hurry up and get some dirt on Trump. Apparently, Putin's got loads of dirt on Trump. Sam, the youngest MP to date. All right, okay. So is this Sam, the youngest MP to date? Was he the one who called out the Jehovah's Witnesses as a cult? Matt is right, Lenny. It's all a PR stunt. Sweep it under the carpet. I know. Hey, listen. I mean, I'm not calling anyone out for believing so, but Andy's going to be at the dinner party. Of course he is. He's family. He's family. And, you know, Christmas is for family. Andy is part of the cult. He's part of the inner circle. You know, do you think the rules really give a flying fuck? Well, they do, actually. And that's something else we learned from Harry's autobiography, Despair. He let loose that the biggest fear the royal family have are the tabloids turning on them. Because what the tabloids turning on the royal family mean is that the people will turn. Because if the tabloids start telling the people the truth about them, game over. And of course, according to Harry, that's their biggest fear. Harry used to be called unemployed man on Spitting Image. Edward, yeah. I mean, and I was thinking this today, actually. What achievement has Randy Andy ever done? Okay, he served in the Navy, fought in the Falklands War. But mind you, I remember when Harry was serving in Afghanistan, he was playing a computer game, but it was a real life computer game in which when you press fire, the drone actually fired on people. So that's on footage. You can see Harry killing people via 1,000 miles up in, not 1,000 miles, 1,000 meters up in the sky. They've all got blood on their hands and smeared across their face. And again, Sonia Poulton done a very good job exposing all this when she talks about the royal family being very big into their blood sports. Sam Curlin, wavy hair young lad, he spoke up about it in a speech in the summer. Thanks for sharing. The Tesco lettuce that lasted longer than Liz Truss is in some special museum now. Oh, isn't she lovely? Eh? Wasn't Liz Truss lovely? I mean, and I think that was a sad day in British history that a sitting prime minister was ousted. That was a coup. That was getting rid of Liz Truss was a coup that took place before our very eyes, and none of us gave a shit because we didn't understand what was going on. Liz Truss being pushed off as a PM was a coup, was a very British coup. So the democratic voice was trampled upon by a select group of conservatives who felt as if they know better than anyone else. I think it was terrible. Absolutely terrible that poor Liz Truss got ousted. Yes, Matt, Sam Carlin called it, and Cameron Thomas backed him in Parliament on June or July this year. Was it the 16th? Very interesting. That's worth looking into as in the Hansard. Back in the day, there was nothing I loved more than reading Hansard. But I haven't read Hansard in many a year now. And he was apparently Elizabeth's Frey favourite. Yes. And of course, it's implied that Andrew isn't or wasn't Philip's child. He was Andy Portland or Porthouse's son, one of the Queen's many lovers. And again, talking about Lizard, we go back to, and I find this fascinating. I really do find it fascinating. We go back to, you know her name. You know her name. I can't get it. The lady, Janis Joplin, isn't her name. Janet somebody, who said that she saw the Queen and Philip, Jeanette Archer. Was that her name, Jeanette Archer? She saw the Queen and Philip transform into reptilians. I mean, I love that. I fucking love that. I think that's brilliant. And I know a lot of people, well, she's bullshitting. Well, what a bullshitter. What a set of tits on her to come out and say, yeah, I was, actually, I know she doesn't talk like that. But I was like, yeah, I saw the Queen and Philip change into reptilian aliens right before my eyes. I mean, come on, that is just brilliant. I want to say to her, come here, tell me more. What happened? Yeah, so look, I was being abused by them. I was being sexually tortured, and they looked me in the eye and they just transformed into reptilian aliens. Oh, love it. Okay, let's get rid of the reptilian. Let's get rid of the aliens, okay? Because, these reptilians may well have been on Earth a lot longer than humans. In fact, compared to the dinosaurs who were around for millions of years, compared to us humanity who've been around thousands of years, the reptilians could be the evolutionary result of the dinosaurs. But anyway, on to Lenny, who says, Matt, which is me, your host, Matt Taylor, broadcasting live from Brighton and all that jazz. Randy is getting publicly relegated because the emails, right? We need to look at these emails. There's more to come, maybe, and the rules are foreshadowing it. Yes, Lenny, I see where you're going with this. They've had been out until distribute by his antics. Yes. And it's all falling on Edward's shoulders to make sure, because Edward's going, listen, mate, this is my, this is all promised to me, and you fuckers are spoiling it. Elizabeth personally went in her purse and paid off the 12 million to stop the nasty lady talking about her little boy Andy. And what I heard from the grapevine was that Elizabeth knew all about it, but she was like, look, don't talk about it in my presence. What I don't hear, I don't know. Was Liz Truss so bad? No, she wasn't. She was doing like a British version of MAGA. She was pushing out the boat. She was pushing the boundaries. She was doing something radical. And of course, the establishment, the secret sect within Tories didn't like it, because they would have ultimately lost money. Was Liz Truss so bad? I enjoyed her amusing one-liners about butter and that stare into the camera. I thought she was brilliant. And great assets too. I do love great assets on a woman. Yes. 12 million to shut up Virginia. It clearly didn't work, yeah. And you know, it makes me wonder whether she really is dead. 12 million and 18 million in tax. Shocking, thanks. Must never forget the tax. Lenny, unfortunately, Virginia had to die for the truth to come out. Oh, yes. Do any of them really die? Epstein flight list shows Bill Clinton and a few other visited the pedo island. Does it mean that they were there strictly on business? Epstein was a major political donor. Look, come on, let's get real. Let's get real. They were having sex sessions. They were having it off. They were having orgies. Right? That's what they were doing. They were going there to get their fix. They were going there because Epstein put on the best orgies anywhere on the planet. Great to see you back on 8 p.m. Well, I can't promise regularly. I can't promise it'll be regular, Lenny. You know, I can't. I'm not gonna promise anything. I should actually be up at my girlfriend's this week, but I'm doing stuff for my sister. My son's off as well. He's got half term, so I'm looking after my son and Emma at the moment. Otherwise, I would be up. I'll be up at my girlfriend's at the moment. You know, snuggled up with my girlfriend on the couch. Randy has brought the rules into disrepute. Philip is thinking about the long game. Come on. Yeah, on paper, Andy has brought the rules into disrepute. But Charles has brought the rules into disrepute. William did. There's a lot of talk about a divorce between him and Catherine. Every single rule has brought their family into disrepute. That's what they do. They're a dysfunctional family, for goodness sake. But they're a family anyway. They're a firm. And each and every single one of them have got a role to play within that firm. They all have integral, important positions that cannot be passed off to anyone else. Because every single one of them have got expertise in that role. That firm is solid. That firm is fucking solid. And if you think people like you and I know what goes on behind locked doors, you're kidding yourself. You're naive. A lot of shit goes on behind those locked doors that you and I will never know about because we're not family, mate. We're not in the firm. Family. Think about it. Thicker than blood, mate. Family. My sister, Emma. Fucking love her to bits, man. I'll go to the ends of the earth for that girl. She's family. I don't care about my magical imaginary girlfriend sitting there all alone. No, family. Family means more than anything else in the whole wide world. Even a beautiful girlfriend sitting up there all by herself because her son's gone on a training course for a week. Yeah, it's in her books. Yeah, it's in her books, says Brian. Yes, indeed. Randy Gaff's Rule Lodge lease is tenable until 2078. Yeah. Randy will be 108 when he gets kicked out of there. And you know very well, you know, his daughters will have a bit of that. I seen Trust do her rounds on podcasting in her book. She's a lovely lady. And she's got a lot to say, and I think she's got fair grievances as well. Can you imagine the worst plasterer selling a book on plastering? I like it. Yeah. I tell you, but she none of her plans were allowed to see the success because she was, again, sabotaged. She had the rug pulled out from underneath her. Brian, the film of her book will be out within the year. Right, good point. Talking about Virginia. It may even reach the theatre, says Brian. Remember Tony Blair the musical? I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. Of course, you know, he's coming back into the public eye, isn't he? With a role to play in Gaza. What the hell's going on? Matt, we know Epstein was a pedo, but you of all people should know how damaging lies and innuendo are. What if you were a tenuous associate of Epstein, yet knew zero of his sick crimes? Well, it just doesn't wash. It don't wash, mate. It don't wash. We all know, everyone who knew Epstein knew his reputation, just like everyone knew the reputation of Jimmy Savile.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV. Disturbing comedy at its very best.
Well, of course, I get your point. I get your point. But we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein here. So yeah, absolutely. And I've, you know, that's what I love about you, Lenny. You always are a level head in a sea of turmoil. You're absolutely right. We all know, especially I, how damaging lies and innuendo are with a tenuous association with someone you may not have known anything about. I agree with that, but there's always exceptions to the rule, and I do believe Epstein was the exception to the rule. How about Epstein the musical? Well, even in the 1980s, people knew, so it's not new off the press. Quite right. Quite right. Thanks ever so much, everyone, for coming in today. It's always a bit scary when you go live, thinking, no, is everyone watching Taffy instead? But then again, I'm looking forward to seeing what Brian Harvey has got to say about Prince Andrew. Apparently, Prince Andrew was in the Red Room with Ghislaine when Brian and Danielle went in. I mean, the obvious question is, what the fuck was Brian Harvey and Daniela Westbrook doing in the restroom? Not in the West Room, not in the restroom, in the Red Room. Third time lucky. What the fuck was Brian Harvey and Daniela Westbrook doing in the Red Room? That's what I'd like to ask. Over to Lenny, who says Lady Gaga did a duet with R. Kelly. So did Celine Dion. Should they get mullered publicly as somehow condoning a child molester? Yeah, they should. I think they should, Lenny. I think they should. You know, like Babs says, you got to take it on the chin. You got to take these things on the chin, and you got to get called out. So people are more aware of who they associate with in the future. There needs to come a position, a norm, in which I only want to be associated with you once I know what you're about. Because we live in a day and age in which news is everything. The internet is everything. And I can't afford to damage my brand if I'm getting in bed, so to speak, with someone who's got a dishonourable reputation. Bad associates spoil useful habits. Well said, Brian. Lenny son, doesn't R. Kelly believe he can fly? Why hasn't he flown out of prison already? The video of R. Kelly defiling a minor surfaced online in 2002. So people knew what he was doing that far back Yet he was convicted nearly 20 years after the fact. And of course, there's this age-old saying that birds flock together. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? There's a very fact that people like Lady Gaga and Celine Dion is collaborating with R. Kelly means, you know, after a day in the studio, they go back to R. Kelly's and get on with it. Because there's enough bullshit being put out about Lady Gaga with the spirit cooking. And then Celine Dion, you know, look at her appearance. It fluctuates. And then the old adrenochrome conspiracy theory swirls around Celine Dion. And a lot of it is bullshit. I put my hand up to that. But there's always some truth. I mean, you can apply that to me. And I put my hands up. Yeah, I'm a bit of a pervert. You know, I like big boobs. And I like mature women. But that don't mean what I am, what they call me to be. That don't mean I go around public Brighton Beach asking for teens to get naked. I may go around Brighton Beach looking at the boobs. Put my hand up to that. Looking at the perfect buttocks of a beautiful lady or three. Just saying. Lenny, remember Elvis and a 14-year-old girl he publicly dated and later married? Johnny Lee Hooker? No, wasn't. No. Jerry Lewis was another one, wasn't he? I mean, and of course, Bill Wyman. And my argument is, while young women, I'm talking about late teens, may look like women, it's their maturity in their head. And I think it's a manipulation and taking a liberty grooming a young woman when really that young woman should be left to date people at their own age. Matt, nobody is just liking you for being a red-blooded male. Thank you. And of course, I like to highlight everyone who comes in. But I do find it peculiar and, you know, quite interesting that a lot of these individuals can be nasty in comments, but yet come in and expect a bit of civility shown their way. No, you know, like I said, I don't ask for much, but what I do ask for is that a bit of civility. And thank you ever so much for Brian, Lenny, and Justin. You know how much I appreciate your company. Thank you ever so much. But yeah, brilliant, isn't it? None of us are perfect. In fact, we're perfect because each and every single one of us have got imperfections. I think that's what makes us perfect, because we are imperfect. And anyone who implies that I'm perfect are fucking pulling a fast one. And it's all too often we got these group of people in our little crazy corner who sell themselves as perfect. You know, it is embarrassing. Just saying. Who make a big song and dance of saying goodbye. Look, just fuck off if you want to say goodbye. You really don't need to, like, upon walking out the room, stand on a pedestal and saying, I'd just like to announce that I'm going. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. High sorts, yes. In a bit. Yes. Thanks, and thanks ever so much, Brian. It's good to catch up with you again, as it is with Lenny and Justin. You see, Lenny's a good lad. Lenny's a good lad. Lenny shows civility to everyone. So I raise a glass to Lenny. No, but and also thanks ever so much for giving me the conditions to have a little bit of a rant and rave, because I think it's good for everyone to get things off their chest, have a little bit of rant and rave, because you need to get your opinions across, and people need to hear your opinions. I think opinions are there to be shared. And that's why I do appreciate everyone sharing their opinion. It's good news.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV for wacky, zany, and crazy entertainment.
Yeah, I know. Bit embarrassing, isn't it? Bit embarrassing, to be fair.
Watch Matt Taylor TV because it's the best show in the whole wide galaxy.
Well, I don't know what they've been watching, but that's very nice of them to say so. Look, just don't take it seriously, man. Convert, it seems Elvis was messing around with minors. But he is a sacred cow in America, in American culture. Listen, I think it's an indication of someone's predatory nature to go after women so much younger than themselves. I was going to say it's an indication of their own maturity that they can't engage with women their own age. Either way, I think it's absolutely disgusting and should be condoned that a man of a certain age targets women who are younger. It's predatory behavior. And while it may indicate that they haven't got any maturity themselves, that's beside the point. I'm sorry that you're not mature enough to date women your own age. Hurry up and mature. Because you're doing no favours to the young girl who you date as an older man. But of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. We all hear love stories of large age differences, and of course, we see it all the time. What, poor Diane Keaton. Was it Diane Keaton's stepdaughter that Woody Allen went later on to marry? And they would argue that's a genuine love story. Who am I? It's only an opinion, okay? It's only an opinion. Lenny says, I don't get it. I suppose grannies still approach Michael Barrymore as they remember him from his Strike It lucky days. Yes, indeed. LV returned to sender. Yes. We were going to name Lewis Elvis, funny enough. But actually, there is Elvis, you can get Elvis from Lewis. Yeah, it's a weird one. You fold the W in half. You fold the W in half, you get V. And so mix around the L-E-V-I-S, and that makes Elvis. But it also makes evil. Diane Keaton. Oh, thank you, Lenny. You mean Maya Farrow. Oh, thanks. Yes. So I got that completely wrong. Oh, man. I feel a bit embarrassed. I do, actually. So Diane Keaton has got nothing to do with Woody Allen. Got it. They did star in a film together. Yes, got it. Thank you. Thanks for correcting me there, Lenny. Thanks for correcting me. But yeah, all that with Mia Farrow. Farah. I don't know. It's... What do I know? I know nothing. Everywhere you go, kids want to rock. Quite sick, really, the words of certain songs when you hear them after knowing what they're about. Yeah. You know, the point I'm trying to get across is, yes, immature girls can pass off as mature women. Okay? But they're still immature girls. And that's what you got to be aware of. Immaturity. And a mature man taking advantage of an immature girl is predatory behavior. Matt, I'm old enough to remember when Michael Jackson was his imperial, I can't even say that, Lenny, imperial pop singer to tainted pedo suspect to get in look, oh, fucking hell. I can't even, these are far too long words for me. And then downgraded again by a Netflix psyop. I was watching something about his bodyguard friend was talking about Michael Jackson, and he doesn't think he was a pedo. But anyway, fucking hell. And apparently that Michael Jordan payout was an insurance payout. The devil has the best songs, apparently, yes. See what I mean, Matt? The influence of mass media narrative of said person, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's shocking. I mean, if the mass media want to destroy you, they'll fucking destroy you. Easy as. I'm just lining up some little promotional videos.
Matt Taylor TV. It's wacky, zany, and totally crazy.
Do not watch Matt Taylor TV. It will corrupt you.
And of course, no one wants to be corrupted. Hey? Matt, Michael Jackson was the biggest thing in entertainment from Thriller up to Black or White Dangerous era. I know, he's amazing, wasn't he? And do you know who I was been rediscovering lately? Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton. I remember Linda Ronstadt from, and I'm pronouncing it wrong, Ronstadt, from years ago. I remember that name. I remember my mother used to be into Linda Ronstadt. But anyway, I've been recently getting into Dolly Parton, Emmylou Harris, and Linda Ronstadt. And it's great music, man. Great music. I love it. I love it. I love it. Lenny son, did Brian Harvey wait outside a school in his flash car to pick up a schoolgirl? It's common knowledge that he did. Oh, that's quite right. And apparently he was married, wasn't he? I done something about that once, and Nikki Lee was not happy, man. Nikki Lee was not happy. Oh right, okay. Ron Sad, silent T. Right, I'll get my butchers around it. Well, yes, they will destroy people to steal your story as well. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt. But if it's just, the silent T at the end. Got you. Like I said, I remember the name from way back. But I didn't know she was singing with Dolly Parton, who, I mean, and I'm sure that's for every man, she is a special looking lady. Ronstadt, yeah, that's the best way to say it. Ronstadt. funny. But it's brilliant. So I get Alexa to play all that stuff. I do enjoy my Alexa. Hey, Alexa, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Don't worry. Matt did a special on this years ago. Matt's version of Operation U-Tree. I've been doing it for a while, I know. I've been doing this for a while. That's for sure. And thanks for sticking with me, you know. The old crew, love it. Yes, indeed, Lenny son. Oh, poor Emma, though. Honestly, it was a bit touch and go there. We seriously thought Emma wasn't going to make it. And note to self, at times like that, it's not clever to crack a few jokes with the nieces, you know. But no one told me, you know, it's inappropriate to crack a joke when your sister is laying on her deathbed. Brian Harvey said Liam Payne was murdered and his corpse was taken to the building. Argentine Illuminati involved. I know, fascinating, wasn't it? Absolutely fascinating what he's coming out with. Matt Taylor's investigative journalism is well respected. So listen, Brian Harvey is implying there was no check-in footage. Yeah. He highlights that the absence of CCTV or photographic evidence of Liam Payne entering the Palmiro Hotel. He claims this is a critical gap that undermines the official account. Blurry and edited imagery, that's fair enough. He points to the poor quality of the photographs released, yes. Suggesting they were deliberately grainy, black and white or blurred. And then, of course, remember, he claims to spot the anomalies, such as the woman with the see-through leg and the claw hand, and the foot coming out the knee. He believes all these distortions are signs of AI manipulation. Again, like Lenny just said, and there's also the body double theory. Harvey argues that a lookalike of Payne, who we saw going on the plane home from Argentina, Belazuris, was seen leaving Argentina weeks later. He suggests this individual was used in hotel photos and footage, particularly in shots showing a man with his back to the camera or wearing a jacket. You know, the head injury. Harvey zooms in on one image and argues that back of Payne's head shows signs of editing. He contends that Payne suffered a fatal head injury and that the balcony fall narrative was designed to account for it. I mean, and this is what Lenny points in. He claims that the photographs of Payne in the hotel lobby were taken early in the morning after his death, with curtains closed to obscure the natural light. So, just as Lenny pointed out there, Harvey saying Payne's body was brought into the hotel after the fact. And that's quite mind-blowing, really. That there's crisis actors. Brian Harvey alleges that several people in the story, including wedding guests and a man named Brett, who spoke even to the media, were crisis actors brought in to make the stage scene appear authentic. He accuses unnamed parties, which he has actually named Simon Cowell in this, of financial gain, suggesting Payne's death was disguised as suicide, linked to mental health struggles, a narrative he says is frequently used in celebrity cases, including his own. So listen, Brian Harvey, as we all know, has repeatedly voiced distrust of the music industry, mainstream media and official institutions. His videos often combine personal reflections with conspiracy-tinged documentary on current events. And that's why we like him so much. It's, you know, it's mind-blowing, quite frankly. It's mind-blowing. I bet Liam Payne was worth a few quid. 25 million, wasn't he? 25 million? Payne's corpse placed in the enclosure, but why? Who wants to snuff out washed up boy bander? Listen, let's just ask it straight, okay? Could it be the death clause in the music contracts? Asked Brian. Let's ask it. Who thinks, and I'll be the first to answer, who thinks Brian Harvey is onto something? Who thinks Brian Harvey is onto it? Yeah, I don't myself. I need more convincing. But he's done a good job at convincing me, but not good enough a job. You know what I mean? He's done a good job, but not good enough a job. Does that make sense? So, all due respect to Brian, it's just that I am not buying it just yet. I need to be convinced I need to be more convinced. And remember, it's not just Brian, is it? There's this another bloke on the internet who feels the same. I've forgotten his name. Strangely, the people who make it always seem to have these new, older partners shortly after making it big. Yeah, good point. Kaylee gave me a spanner. His raise your spanner. So, of course, you know, Brian Harvey isn't the only one who believes there's more to the story than about Liam Payne's death than meets the eye. Brian gets a bit excited, doesn't he? No one's answered the question. Who else? Who thinks Brian is on the money on this? Yes. So many Brians. I've got a character in my book called Brian Crumb. Sorry, Brian, I meant Brian Harvey. I do like a bit of Brian. I never actually liked him back in the day, back the boy band. I thought they were all a bit gay, to be fair. And I was a bit homophobic back then. Back in the day, I was a bit homophobic. Well, you know, that I grew out of that. I matured out of that. The lad was taking Class A drugs and he fell off a balcony, Matt. Drug deaths by misadventure are common. Right, so thank you, Lenny. Lenny is putting the money where his mouth is. He's, in the terms of poker, Lenny is putting all his money on Liam Payne falling off a balcony, high on drugs. I like it. I will also be putting a quarter of my money on that, Lenny. I'll be putting a quarter of my money on him falling off the balcony. I'll also put a quarter. No, let's be real. I'll put half, mate. I'm going to go half. I'm going to half on Lenny, and I'm going to do half on Brian Harvey. Because I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to being wrong. Brian Harvey sells a good story, sells a good narrative. But I'm not convinced. Matt, E17 wasn't exclusively a gay band, sir. I know, but they just came across as so gay. Those fucking bobble hats. I mean, what was that all about? I thought that was a sign. you know, between gays. Hey, I'm gay if I wear a really fucking ridiculous hat, yeah, and I sing while holding my genitalia. Hey man, you know I'm gay because I sing while holding my balls. Yeah, that's what gays do, yeah. If you see a singer holding their balls, it means we're gay. Yes, the condom hats. Yes, what was that all about? Fucking, I was not impressed, man. Not impressed in the slightest. Very weird. Hey, listen, thanks everyone. I'll be wrapping it up in 10 minutes. Okay. And, yeah. Whew. Crazy. Crazy. I'll be wrapping it up in 10 minutes. Thanks ever so much, everyone, for popping in. Very kind of you. And, you know, let's look forward to doing it again. Over to Lenny. E17's controversial manager, Tom Watts, or Watkins, was a charismatic queen. So we know where the influence came from. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, listen. I was wrong about them, obviously, because I don't think any member of E17 were gay, were they? But mind you, Brian accuses Tony Mortimer of sexually assaulting him. But that's what you do sometimes. You grab your mate's dick. Come on. We've all done it once or twice, haven't we? Surely. No. Okay, maybe once. Maybe twice. Come on. Are you honestly telling me you haven't grabbed your mate's dick? You know, once or the other. I mean, I remember doing it now and then when I'm drunk. Really? Tickle the old testicles? No? No? Oh, come on. Brian, Matt's little promo videos are so good, aren't they? Oh, you're so kind. Well, I can't take any credit for it. Look at this one. I love this one.
I watch Matt Taylor TV because he's got big bazookas like me.
I do love a big pair of bazookas, you know. But anyway, 5 minutes to go, ladies and gents. Have a good night. I can't promise when I'll be going live again next. I made a promise to myself. If it makes me money, I'll do it. If it doesn't. But anyway, I like to give things away for free, you know. And it's only right and proper. Thank you for giving your time, and I'll be happy to give my time. Either way, it's been lovely spending time with you, Brian, with you, Justin, always, and with you, Lenny. Honestly, it's an honor and privilege to hang out with you guys. You are the best, and there's nothing I like better than hanging out with you guys. Over to Brian. No, I don't grab. No, I don't grab my mate's dick, Matt. Crikey. I don't even think about it. Well, I was drunk. I was drunk, Your Honor. I thought it was funny. Oh, God. I think Marie, us sending love emojis. We see you, Marie. They're not here. Surely not. Surely not. No way. Well, no girls in tonight. It's been a man zone, if you know what I mean. It's been a man zone tonight. Yes. Us men have got to stick together. Only joking. Anyone's welcome, even the ladies. Yes. So, over to Brian. Tip top, folks. Don't grab your mate's dick. Otherwise, there'll be a video made about it so many years later. Yes, I mean, you know, come on. Oh, and by the way, I was only joking about tickling my mate's testicles. I'm only joking. Come on. Come on, don't be silly. Only because I can.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV. He's wacky, zany, and crazy.
Yes, indeed. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Hello, Tube England. Bro Fists. Brilliant. Great to see you. TikTok video, Matt, grabbing your dick. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That got me in a lot of trouble, didn't it? That got me in a lot of trouble. It's okay for the girls to bounce their boobs around and shake their buttocks. But me grabbing my packet... But me grabbing my packet, that didn't go down well, did it? Yeah, I remember that. Tubes, lovely to see you. Yes, indeed. Come on, everyone. We're coming up to the last few minutes. Thanks ever so much, everyone, for dropping in. And like I said, I don't know when I'll be doing it again. But I certainly do hope to do it again. And I'm not talking about making love to my magical imaginary girlfriend. You two guys, thanks ever so much. What's everyone doing for the rest of the evening? And I do hasten to add, Lenny was the only one who answered whether they think Brian Harvey is on the money with this Liam Payne thing. I see a lot of people don't want to tell us. You don't want Brian Harvey to know that you're not buying his story, his narrative. Poor Hopple. Anyway, I'm off. I'm going to watch Brian Harvey, what he has to say about Randy Andy. And of course, the question I think we should all be asking is, what the fuck was Brian Harvey doing in the Red Room with Daniela Westbrook and Ghislaine Maxwell, and Prince Andrew was there? Tube England is a fantastic defender of truth. I second that. Quite right. Brian Harvey says the photo of Randy with Virginia Watsits is fake. I know. I don't really buy that as well. I don't buy that because Virginia says it's real. So look, good night, everyone. Thanks ever so much for joining me this evening. I can't promise when I'll be doing it again, but you can bet your bottom dollar that I will be doing it again. So until the next time, subscribe to Matt Taylor TV. Oh, what's this before I go? Matt, it's a 3-minute video. He says Virginia has been unalived, and then a minute later says she has gone off to get plastic surgery. I know, it's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. Until the next time, everyone, remember, which one is it? Murdered or plastic surgery?
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV because the content is wacky, zany, and crazy.
I love watching Matt Taylor TV while caressing myself in bed.
Stop it, stop it. Matt Taylor TV is live. Somebody stop the torture.